Okay, today we're going to learn how to make our own foam stamp. And if you watched my other video on how to make your own foam tape, this is the same sort of product. It's working with fun foam, and you can actually make your own one-sided sticky back fun foam, or you can just purchase it with the adhesive already on the back side. This is sticky back fun foam. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut this out on a die cut machine. You can also cut it out by hand. Just cut out your design with scissors, peel and stick it down to something. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Holtz Wordplay Die, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Let's see if I can turn the light on here. There you go. So can you see that where it's already been cut out? There we go. What you want to do when you cut this out so that your letters come out correctly when you stamp them is you want to put the sticky side down on the die and then die cut it. And I will illustrate what that looks like. Here's the die. I'm going to take the fun foam, I'm going to put sticky side down on there, and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine, whatever die cut machine you use. I use the cuttlebug, and we use the B and B plates with this machine, and it runs through just perfectly. When it comes out of the die cut machine, you actually have this fun foam that's die cut, and it's sticky on one side, and so you can actually pop these guys out, and you'll have little stamps here. I had to run this through a couple of times because my plate shifted, and so that's the only reason that I have this kind of extra little bit around the edges. Yours shouldn't come out like that unless your plates shift like mine did. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to get yourself a nice little stash of these, and you can do this with any shape, truly any shape that you can cut out. It's really easy to cut out of fun foam. It's not hard on your machine at all, not hard on your dies at all. And so these letters should be backwards. When I'm looking at them, they should be backwards. Okay? So then what I want to do is I want to peel and stick them down to something. You could stick them down to cardboard. I'm choosing to stick them down to a little piece of plexiglass so that I can have kind of a semi-permanent die or stamp here. And so this is just a piece of plexiglass that I got at Tap Plastics. I'll peel the outside edges off, and then I'm going to just peel the backing off of my stamp that I just created, and I'm going to stick them down. And this can be totally random. I kind of like the look of that. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me peel and stick these down, but you get the idea. So you can kind of fill in all the space with these fun foam pieces until you have something like this. Now, what do you do with that, you say? Here's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to use this as a stamp to stamp just random letters and numbers on the background of maybe an art journal page or over some book paper. It just makes a custom stamp that is maybe a little bit different than anything that you can buy. So what I'm taking is, this is gesso. You can use any kind of acrylic paint with this, and this is a brayer, and I'm just rolling it out so that I can apply it to my stamp. I think this is the easiest way to apply paint to a stamp, is to use a brayer and then roll it over the stamp. I could essentially take this, flip it over, and tap it into the paint, but I think that using the brayer gets a nice even layer of paint on there. So what does that look like? Here's one example of it pressed onto book paper. So then I have that design. This is gesso. I've stamped it with gesso, which is kind of nice. Now I can get a second stamping out of that. Maybe let's see what it looks like on here, depending on how thick the paint is on there, or in this case gesso. It's kind of subtle. It's a nice subtle effect. But let's apply some more. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just rolling my brayer through the gesso to load it up with some gesso and applying it to my stamp. And let's stamp it again. Let's do it right here. So there's a more bold effect. So you've got the kind of second stamping, it's very subtle. First stamping is quite bold. Here's an art journal page that I'm not quite so sure about. It needs a little something, so maybe I'll take this and stamp some of it on there. That's, oh, quite nice. So many different applications for this, and again, you can use lots of different colors of acrylic. Any color acrylic paint is great. I'm just using gesso because I have it easily at hand here. So you might wonder what other things can you add to the, can you use the stamp with? Can you use it with ink pads? Yes, you can. Same way you would use any other foam stamp, you can use this foam stamp. And again, I really like that as a background stamp. You can also use it with these Tim Holtz Distress paint that has the little spongy dauber tops to it. I might use that, the paint that's in here, to kind of tint some of my gesso. And so here I'm just squeezing some of it out, and I'm going to again roll it out. So I'm tinting my gesso with the Tim Holtz Distress paints. And let's do that on the other side of this book paper so you can see what that looks like. So that's kind of nice too. It's tinted gesso. Alright, so hope you enjoyed this tutorial and thought of a new way that you can use sticky back fun foam to create your own stamps. Alright, thanks for watching.